Hey, what is up guys? I finally purchased my Fender for my Onewheel Pint. And if you're sitting on the fence about buying a Fender for your Onewheel Pint, then this video might be for you. So just cruising around my hometown, actually near my ride that I've published on the Onewheel app. So if you happen to live in Bristol here in the UK, you might want to check it out. It's called the St Philip's River Dash. It's about a 10-minute dash, but it's quite scenic. So you can see the scuff on my left leg. That was actually caused by the wheel on the Onewheel within the first 3 days of owning this thing. So one of the benefits of having the Fender is to avoid injuries like this. And also on wet days, it will save you getting a wet crotch. Although I must admit I do prefer the naked look of the Onewheel without the Fender. So after having this thing for just over a week, this thing's really grown on me. I've been out with this thing every day, multiple times a day, and it's just super fun. My preferred riding mode is Pacific. I started off in Redwood, like most beginners do, but your maximum speed on Redwood is 12 miles an hour. That's not to say that I'm always trying to push top speed, because I'm not. I'm trying to be sensible. But it's just that Pacific is a little bit more aggressive. If you try quick acceleration in Redwood, you'll get pushed back a lot sooner, which means you'll likely nosedive. So I'm just going to go down a decline here. You'll get a good idea as to how well the Pint handles slopes. I would say this is a fairly steep decline, with the back of the board almost touching the ground, but you can see I'm going down in a slow, controlled fashion. No problem for the Pint. So I like to frequent this route quite often. It's very pleasant, especially in the evenings when there's a lot less footfall. However, that being said, you will encounter cyclists, as you can see in just a moment. There are also many blind bends on this route that I need to watch out for, as well as roots that have grown through from nearby trees, pushing up the tarmac, which can be quite dangerous. Now I never try to go crazy on this thing, I just try to ride and enjoy the carve when I can carve. I think in the first 3 days I had some major foot fatigue, and it wasn't until I stumbled across a video from Jimmy Chang, so shout out to Jimmy Chang, where he actually mentions that the best way to reduce foot fatigue is to basically carve. Allow your muscles to have some downtime as you shift your weight from left to right, and I have to say it's made a massive difference. Huge. So this spot right here is where people tend to take a break and just take in some of the scenery. It's actually quite pleasant. So you'll see some people cycling through here, jogging through here, walking. And when you're one-wheeling, you've got to watch out for the cyclists. I'm always wearing my helmet, guys. Always wear your brain bucket, unless you want your brains all over the floor. So I have some major fatigue in my right hand at this point, because I'm using the 888 higher wrist guards, and whilst they provide great protection, the flexibility is terrible. So I was trying really hard to grip onto my GoPro selfie stick. I might have to invest in some Flatland 3D protective gloves, because from what I've seen online, they provide a lot more flexibility, while still providing good protection and avoiding hyperflexion of your wrist. So I'm just coming up to a pedestrian bridge here, which actually cost the local authority millions and millions of pounds. Basically it was a bridge designated to get pedestrians across to what would have been a massive shopping complex. And this bridge, I believe, was installed around 2016. The plans didn't go through and they basically performed an epic failure. So we have this big bridge that goes nowhere, as you'll see in just a moment. A nice dead end. Still, it provides a nice slope to ride up and down on a one wheel. And you get to pause here and look across the river. So here I am attempting to ride switch. I ride regular, so this is my switch position. And you'll see how uncomfortable I am. You can see I'm wobbling already. And I'm just quite twitchy. So I try to take it easy in terms of speed. Here I am going up that slope again. This time I'm moving left and right quite a bit, as you can see. Just not comfortable riding switch. Gonna need more practice. So I don't know if any of you guys have actually noticed, maybe one of you who actually own the Onewheel Pint can probably comment below, but I've noticed that when you have simple stop disabled, I find that the heel lift dismount takes a little bit longer to disengage the motor. So sometimes I panic and just jump off the board. Maybe I'm not dismounting properly, I don't know. But it does seem that the heel lift dismount takes a bit longer to disengage the motor. So this is probably the top speed that I'll ever do whilst riding switch until I get more comfortable. I just need some more practice. So I've actually managed to learn that in order to deal with bumps in the road, it's just keep yourself relaxed. Stay nimble and absorb all the shocks. Try not to stiffen your ankles up, because the moment you do that in a fight against the board, it's a recipe for disaster. So the reason why I went for the Onewheel Pint over the XR is simply because I wanted something smaller. The XR did look quite big and it's definitely a lot heavier. The range is nice, but it doesn't provide the nimbleness of the Pint, and I know, or at least I knew at the time, that I wanted something that was going to give me the ability to carve like crazy, and I'm pleased to say that the Pint doesn't disappoint in that department. Most of my rides have been around 6 to 8 miles, and for me at this moment in time at least, 6 to 8 miles is more than enough. And in real world testing I actually get about 8 miles from this thing anyway, 8 to 9 miles in some cases. And that's the nice thing about Future Motion, they actually really do post real world specs. So if you're in two minds about buying the XR or the Pint, or just the Onewheel in general, from my perspective, it's super fun. And if you want something, I wouldn't say lightweight, but lighter than the XR, and gives you the ability to carve like crazy, then go for the Pint. However, if you want range, then definitely go for the XR. The Pint does feel like a more refined product though. It looks more refined, whereas, as most people have said, the XR looks like it's something that's made in your garage. Although I do imagine in the future, Future Motion, no pun intended, will actually refine the look of the XR. But time will tell. I think it's really cool how Future Motion have made it so that the lights do change colour depending on which direction you're heading. So if I turn to switch, my tail light will change white and vice versa. It's pretty cool. So right now I'm just heading back home. You can see it's actually quite a nice smooth surface, this. So hopefully you find this video useful. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, I would appreciate it. Or if it's not your thing, give it a thumbs down. But if you want to get a pint and you're still thinking about it, all I can say is do it. You won't regret it and you'll be out every day. Stay safe guys, and enjoy the flirt life.